What's up guys, Tyler from Tyspeed. We're here with you today at New Jersey Motorsports Park for yet another episode on the Tyspeed YouTube channel. I'm excited to bring you guys my new project, an E92 M3 race car. We're going to be running this year in Grid Life. Pretty excited to show you what this thing can do around track.
Now from a distance, to the untrained eye, this may just look like another M3. However, behind its relatively bland exterior hides a plethora of exotic modifications, making this a completely robust racing machine. No creature comforts here. This car has been built and tuned for one thing: going fast. After making some noise at GRIDLIFE's NGMP and Lime Rock events in his Endurance E36 chassis, Tyler hopes that this new car will give him the edge he needs to run at the front of the pack. The E92 chassis is an excellent platform for this sort of endeavor, with plenty of aftermarket and OEM support. Now, while this may look like an easy button for racing, Tyspeed and company have a lot of work to do if they want to make this car competitive in GRIDLIFE's GLTC class. Now, this is the first time Tyler has had the opportunity to test this car on track. A large change that the team will have to deal with is tire compound. This particular car is meant to be driven with slicks, but the minimum tread wear for GLTC is 200. In order to make the car competitive and handle properly, Tyler will have to make multiple adjustments to the car's suspension and tuning. If the team can get this sorted by the end of the day, it will put them on a much easier track to Watkins Glen, which is rapidly approaching in a few weeks.
Quite a bit of work underwent in the last couple of days on this car. We've taken it from a car that was running SCCA T2 on Hoosier slicks, a completely different endeavor than what we're doing here with the Grid Life. So, made a lot of changes to this car. We've changed the compound over to street tires, 200 tread wear, softened the springs, softened the shocks, changed the corner bound, the alignments, and really made some serious modifications to a car that was already working quite well. So basically ruined it. And had to spend the day building it back up again. So definitely a challenge for myself and the team here today. We've worked pretty hard over the course of the last couple hours to get it back to where it is right now, which I think is actually pretty competent. Interested to see what it's going to take to make it competitive. We haven't been able to compete with this car yet, obviously, other than just like a track day today. We've got Watkins Glen coming up in about a week, and I'll be really interested to see how this car holds up against the guys who have already been racing for, I believe, 2 or 3 events already so far this year. So I'm going to be interested to see where this car stacks up. But if you like what you saw here today, please make sure you give us a like and a follow. Stay tuned for the race event coming up at Watkins Glen in a week. And we look forward to bringing you more content on this car as we progress with it this year in 2023.
Since 1948, the sounds of sports car racing have echoed off glacier-carved hillsides at the southern tip of Seneca Lake. The tiny town of Watkins Glen packs a motorsports history bigger than itself, the beginning and then ending of racing on public roads, and with that, the start of bespoke road circuits designed for speed. The sky blue steel lining the track here has decades of stories to tell, those from the golden era of Formula One, IMSA, IndyCar, and NASCAR. Today, one of the world's greatest circuits adds another series to its schedule. Welcome to Watkins Glen International, and welcome to Grid Life at the Glen.
This track is about as history-laden as they get. It's special, it's fast, it's big consequence. This is a true old-school racetrack with immense challenges. When they repaved it in 2015, the paving job they did, even now, somewhat 8 years later, the track retains amazing grip, so you can carry incredible speed around this place. And there are a few tracks that are as pretty and picturesque as this one, sitting up on top of the hill, looking down over that little town of Watkins Glen.
What's up, guys? Tyler from Tyspeed. I'm here with you today at Watkins Glen for GRIDLIFE Touring Cup. Very excited to be here with my friends at FCP Euro. Thanks to them for letting us get in today. Just ran our first practice of the day. Things went really well. I have a lot of confidence in this car. We've been dialing in over the last couple of weeks at our home track, New Jersey Motorsports Park. Things are actually turning out to be pretty spicy. There's a lot of really exciting cars here. I was out there running in practice, kind of giving it my all. I wanted to see where we would stack up. I think things went pretty well, to be honest, though. So looking forward to the rest of the day. We got qualifying coming up next around 1 o'clock this afternoon, and we'll see how it goes.
Friday morning, GRIDLIFE Touring Cup qualifying. I'm Kyle Heyer, joined by Greg Kramer. Greg, welcome aboard. This is my home track, my favorite place on planet Earth. I cannot wait to see the action this weekend. Exciting. There is our timing and scoring so far, and the fastest driver in at least the first lap was Tyler Pappas, who we saw at Lime Rock Park last year for his first ever GRIDLIFE Touring Cup weekend. And a 2:07.669 is the fastest time we've seen so far. And Greg, that's a quick time, but we were talking before that we expected 2:07s to kind of be the peak. We're not at the peak yet, and that's already just the first lap.
Yeah, this place is deceptively fast. I got a feeling he's got some track knowledge here. He came out and ran Lime Rock, which means he's a Northeastern guy probably, and has some track knowledge. Some of the regulars who may not have the knowledge here. I mean, Jeremy Swenson already at a low 2:08, as is Matt Walbaum, Motul right there as well. Interesting thing, you talked about the diversity, talking about the different cars, but with these cars,
well, that sucks. So as you can see, we were just called into compliance check on the dyno, and we blew the shit out of the dyno. Not even by a little bit, but by a mile. Having some sort of issue. The tune is reverting back to its full power output. We obviously detuned the car before we came to the event to be within the power to weight specification of the class. Not really sure what's going on. We're gonna have to look into it. The series isn't super happy with us. We ran around out there in qualifying like a streaker through a soccer game, and they were really unpleased with us for that. So we qualified fourth, we got disqualified now. We're gonna have to start P50, which is definitely not looking good for us. So hopefully we can go back to the trailer, plug in with the laptop, we can figure out what's going on. We'll see what happens. Where?
Frustration is starting to settle in. After remapping the car multiple times, the tune still wouldn't revert back. 2 to 3 dyno sessions later, and Tyler's patience was running thin. Out of time and out of ideas, Tyler tried one last tune in hopes to put this issue to rest. Unfortunately, it only made it worse.
Well, it's another wet and rainy day here at Watkins Glen. Yesterday, our first outing with the car didn't go so smooth. We qualified really well, but blew the dyno out on our compliance check. Fortunately, we found an issue with our tune that we were unaware of until we got there. Thankfully, that's since been resolved, so I'm looking forward to a much better day. We're going to be starting away from the back of the field. We're going to have to push forward. There's over 50 cars in today's race. Wet and rainy conditions are going to make for some difficulty in finding grip. We just got done softening the car up a little bit to make it a little more compliant in these conditions. Hopeful for improvement today in our event. So we got races 2, 3, and 4 left. Going to be a tough push to the front. Looking forward to the day. It's going to be a little bit dicey out there, but definitely hoping for a much better day than yesterday. Sometimes that's just the way that racing goes.
GRIDLIFE Touring Cup returns to Watkins Glen International this morning on a little bit of a dreary day, Greg, but the sky blue still represented by those blue Armco walls. Not in the sky, though. Cloud cover over our second race of the weekend. Out of 4, 50 cars taking to the racetrack for the second time this weekend. Greg, this is a big deal.
Yeah, huge field. This is a 3.4-mile track with 50 cars is a big field on any track, certainly.
This is one of the biggest fields we're going to see all year, and I think we should get rolling into our starting lineup for this race.
Starting 39th, the number 24 is Tyler Pappas, who's very quick in practice yesterday in qualifying. Starting in well, you can see in the background there, folks, that little bit of rain haze is starting to ease its way back in again. So this one could get pretty interesting in a hurry here with 50 cars on this track. It's going to be interesting anyway, but these conditions sort of ramp that up a little bit. Let's hope that they can mirror what they did in those first couple of laps yesterday. This big field is absolutely perfect.
Waiting for the green flag. There it is. Green flag flies. And we're green flag racing at Watkins Glen. 3 abreast already. The 207 of Adam Wood didn't get a very good start.
Up the hill they go. First time through the S's. Field so far looking really good.
Yeah, turn 1 we got through clean. Up through the S's here. Everybody tiptoeing here. A little bit of too wide action. Ronnie Vidoc trying to get through the pack. Starting from his starting spot a little bit midfield. And Houghton accelerating past Matt Waldbaum on the back straightaway, going for the lead again. He's got it.
So had to go through the compliance check once again. Thankfully we passed that with flying colors. We were 10 horsepower under and 100 pounds over, just as we intended yesterday. Long story short, we'll be pushing forward again from 22nd position, about halfway up through the field, so we'll keep in it, stay with it, and hopefully we'll get a top 10 finish to round out the weekend.
The driver that got it done earlier as we come to the green flag, this time through 3rd race on the weekend here from Watkins Glen International. Green flag flies, and we're racing down the hill towards the 90.
Boy, and Vidoc got a great launch move.
Work our way through turn number 1. We're 3 wide in the background as we try to get them all sorted out by the time they head up the hill. 2 wide for about 5th place behind. I think that's Ryan Power slotting into the mix. Matt Waldbaum already attacking out as they head through turn.
Well guys, loading it back in the trailer after race 3. Going on the last lap, me and Zach Lavoie were battling out pretty hardcore and went neck and neck into turn, 9 or so, the right-hander before we go up out of the boot. And he drove a little bit late, I braked late with him, I turned in late, got a little bit sideways, couldn't save it. It was really, really slick out there. I was battling the rear like all race long. We moved up another 10 spots. We were in 15th position and was looking forward to that top 10 finish I had promised myself all weekend here after working back from 50th yesterday. But that's just racing, man. Unfortunately, the poor girl in the Team ASM Honda barely avoided hitting me, clipped the rear end of the car, and smashed into the wall right in front of me. I watched the whole thing happen. Absolutely destroyed her car. There's nothing left of it. I cannot believe that this rim was in the bumper. I don't know, tough weekend, first time out here. You know, I think I had a little bit of too much confidence going into this weekend, thinking that this was going to be a cakewalk with this car. and turned out to be, you know, this year they really elevated the series. I mean, people got really competitive this year. Last year was kind of so-so, and this year everyone is like, you know, tenths of a second apart, fighting for so little out there, and the conditions this weekend made it even harder. This is some tough racing, man. This is a tough sport. Definitely not go the way that we wanted to this weekend, but first time out with the car, bringing it home in relatively one piece. Definitely put on a good show, I think, while we were here, and we'll try to push forward for a better result in the next race.